Stock in Tesla. Uber is quickly becoming a car that a lot of people want, but early investors like Ron Barron are hanging on to their shares even tighter. As someone who owns a lot of Tesla stock, Ron Barron thinks that the price will go up by 30 times. Ron Barron is a good investor who thinks Tesla will do well. This week, Ron Barron talks about Tesla shares and what to do with them. We look at some of his tips. What makes Barron think that Tesla stock will go up 30 times? Can Tesla become the Apple of the car industry's eye? The movie today will answer these and other questions. Ron Barron talked about some important parts of Tesla's business and why long-term investors should buy the company's stock. That's what he thought were the most important short-term risks that Musk's companies face. Barron's capital. Barron's investment firm is one of Tesla's bigger long-term shareholders right now. Even though the owner has sold some Tesla shares, he says that the company now has about 6 million Tesla shares. Barron has put a huge 41% of his biggest funds into Tesla shares. Since March 2020, this has made him the biggest Tesla bull in the world. Barron's net worth has almost quadrupled thanks to this big bet. Barron's 17 funds have a big stake in Tesla, but 2 of them stand out. The $7.3 billion Barron Partners Fund that Ron Barron and his son Michael run had a gain of about 150% last year. Also, by the end of 2020, Tesla owned 47% of its assets, even though it had sold some of its shares in the company. The shares made up a big 41% of the assets of the $671 million Barron-focused growth fund, which Barron co-manages with his son David and made 122% last year. Its stake in Tesla dropped from 39% at the end of 2020 to 32% as of March 31st. Barron goes on, Tesla is the most important investment I've ever made. Public records show that Barron Funds was the 12th biggest shareholder in Tesla by the end of 2020. Barron Funds had invested 12% of its total portfolio, which was the most of any of Tesla's top 50 institutional shareholders. Other well-known owners are Baillie Gifford in Edinburgh, which has 11% of its money in Tesla, and Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, which has 8.3% of its money in Tesla. Ron Barron thinks he will keep his Tesla stock for at least 10 more years. Barron's Capital has owned Tesla stock since 2014, and the average price he paid for it was $43. The stock has gone up more than 20 times since then, and if Tesla hits $1,300, it will have gone up almost 30 times. The market value of the stock just passed $1 trillion. Still, Ron Barron is very smart, so he isn't planning to sell. He has said that his company will probably be invested for at least another 10 years. Ron Barron has also said that he learned a lot about Tesla and talked to Elon Musk for years before he decided to invest, so he didn't just decide on the spot to put money into Tesla. Many people told Barron that his plan would not work at the time and didn't agree with it. We're interested in what these people think now that they know Ron Barron made $6 billion from Tesla stock and that each share cost him about $43. Some people said it wouldn't work because Elon Musk wasn't focused on making money right away. These are our words for people who don't agree with Elon Musk and want to make a lot of money quickly. Do you want to win little? I want to win a lot of money. Elon Musk must have thought that to himself. Ron Barron likes to put his money into companies that are ready to give up short-term gains in order to become more successful. If Ron Barron wants to spend, he puts his money into companies that invest in themselves. Tesla has built more factories around the world, made its car range bigger, and started new businesses with the money it made from its sales. That's what he said. Barron talked about the 2020 Tesla Impact Report during the chat. It was said that this study would make you not want to sell Tesla. Elon Musk is committed to making sure that people will survive. Barron said this is because electric cars are getting better and private space travel is getting better. These days, Tesla and SpaceX are the 2 most sought-after companies for engineering grads looking for work. Without Elon Musk, Tesla and SpaceX would not be where they are now. The very wealthy investor said that Elon Musk's health is the biggest risk for Tesla owners going forward. His health is good, and I hope it stays that way for a long time, he said. Now, what would happen to Tesla if something bad happened to Elon Musk? Since it was founded in May 2010, Tesla's price has gone up a lot, and a lot of investors trust Elon Musk. The risk factors that affect the price of a share are how investors feel about the company that is selling the shares. Some of the most important things that affect the price of a stock, though, are analysts' expectations for the company's success. How does the ability to make money affect the desire for Tesla stock on the stock exchange? Things that a company owns, like a patent, a collection of real estate, or the right to sell only certain products, can also make it more valuable. But innovation is also a big part of how well a business does when it comes to risk. That's a lot to think about. Rates of interest and how people think they will change in the future also affect predictions and prices in the stock market. When interest rates are low, investors are willing to take bigger risks in order to make more money and have better access to the stock market. Barron also talked about how Musk has affected both Tesla and SpaceX. He thinks that the businesses might not do as well without Musk running them. He also talked about how hard the CEO works and his small house in Boca Chica, which we've already talked about in another movie. You can watch it on our channel. This is what it means for Tesla's stock price and the business as a whole if it has to become the Apple of the car world. Analysts think that Tesla will make more than $50 billion in sales in 2021, with more than 85% of those sales coming from its car business by 2035. It would still be a very big guess to say that electric cars will make up 95% of all new cars sold. When that does happen, Tesla will have the same 16% market share as Apple. It will make 22 million cars and light trucks and sell more than $1 trillion worth of goods, which is huge. Analysts think that Tesla will have a net income of more than $10 billion in 2021, with about $1.2 billion coming from regulatory credits. It is also said that Tesla would make about $250 billion in 2035 if it could achieve the same 24% net profit margins as Apple does now. Yes, we are talking about 15 years from now. Since its start, Tesla has built factories to make cars in Fremont, California, Shanghai, and soon Austin. It has also started making batteries in those places. There are gigafactories in Nevada, Berlin, and Austin. Let's ignore the fact that Apple makes more than just phones and say that Tesla will become the Apple of cars. It sold more than $150 billion worth of iPhones in the first 3 quarters of 2021, which was 55% of all sales. There were also sales from the services section, which included ads, digital content, Apple Care, and other lines. Let's say that the iPhone was the only thing that brought in money. So, the iPhone makes up about 65 to 70% of Apple's sales. This means that Apple has a big business worth about $110 billion this year, selling Macs, iPads, variables, and accessories. Apple still has a pretty good business, even if you take out the iPhone. In the event that Tesla turns into Apple, we must assume that Tesla will need to add similar features to new goods. Also, we can't talk about how most of Apple's profits and handset sales come from mobile ads and app sales, which are mostly reported in the service segment we just talked about. Last but not least, we have to think that Tesla would make something outside of cars to make something similar. This is on top of its own app shop and over-the-air updates. Even though Tesla makes more electric cars than any other company, it's not clear if this will continue in the future, especially since many other companies are also working hard to make electric cars. One thing is for sure, electric cars are the way of the future, and sales of them are growing quickly. But the way markets change in general can make or break the value of security in a broader sense. Markets that were bad, like those during the 2008 and 2011 financial crisis, pushed down even healthy and promising values, even though there was nothing truly wrong with them. Do you think these numbers will mean that Tesla stock goes up in the near future? Leave a comment below.